Can you believe it? It's finally here. It's the most wonderful time of the year, unless you get stressed out about how to pay for it. SaveWithConrad.com can help you make this the best Christmas ever. You won't make a house payment for the next 2 months. That's right. Skip your next 2 house payments and use all that cash for your extra holiday expenses. And come next year, you're going to have a lower monthly payment. Don't put Christmas on a credit card. Pay your credit card debt off at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 65084, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.
What happened when WHW Monday? And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Happy holidays, Conrad. I guess officially we are in the holidays as Thanksgiving has gone by. Black Friday has gone by. Monday has gone by, unless you're watching on Patreon. And we're heading to the Christmas season, so happy holidays to you, buddy.
Man, I'm excited to be here, but I guess right at the start of the show, we need to peel back the curtain. We actually started recording this show, and you had to run a timeout. You disappeared, and I just assumed, as did Mr. Silva, who's producing us today, that you had to take an old-fashioned, big old country shit.
Yeah.
So,
no.
What's shaking, Bacon? You not feeling so well? You get them leftovers getting to you? What's the deal?
We got a new dog. Her name is Kirby.
You shit the dog?
No.
Okay.
Kirby is a fun-loving beagle mix who just wants to have a good time, and she's a puppy, and she wants to play. But unfortunately, we also have in the house 2 old men that are grumpy. Bug right here and Chewy down there. And apparently her and Chewy, she apparently tried to play with Chewy, and he got into a fight with her. And so we had to separate them and put them in separate kennels. And there you go. So we have a dog fight, basically.
How about that? Well, there was a dog fight in college football this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And one at the Dorton Arena. Congrats all around to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat returning to the ring, and
yeah, how about that?
Had a little surprise guest action. Proud for him, and man, I'm proud for what we're doing today. We're going to be watching an old episode of World Championship Wrestling. This one went down on December 5th, 1987, and it's not a typical studio show. We're going to be rocking about an hour and a half here with you today from season 3, episode 48. So as Tony likes to say, and he tells all the boys, get your cock out. Go to season 3, episode 48 of World Championship Wrestling, December 5th, 1987. And Tony, just in time for the holidays, there's lots of rumor and innuendo around our little modest operation that perhaps, is it true, we have a special countdown this week?
Yeah, we had this past weekend was really a great weekend for many reasons. We had some of our, there's Chewy barking to get out. Hope she keeps his ass in there the entire time. Old fucker. So anyway, we had a great Thanksgiving, and we had some friends over who actually it shows you that how we've become on WHW Monday, our Patreon page, and also on ad-free shows, that we're more than just acquaintances. We're family. We're friends.
Yes.
So Megan Nelson, who's become a very good friend and helps me out when I make appearances.
Rock star salesperson.
She
Everything.
really is.
Yep.
Patrick and Brooke McGaw, who are friends from Shreveport. And Megan's from Pittsburgh. They came in and had Thanksgiving this weekend with the family. And then they went up with me to WrestleCade.
How about that?
So we had them over Thanksgiving, and we did a little Thanksgiving countdown. It's nothing spectacular, but it involves Lois, which means there's always something up.
Okay.
So with that in mind, it's time for a countdown at Thanksgiving style. Thanksgiving at the Schiavone house is over. Thank God, right, Lois?
Yes.
Is that all you can say?
Yes.
Well, the freaking bitch. We got Brooke and Patrick and Megan. Did you guys have a good time?
We had a lovely time.
I had a great time. There were only a couple of mishaps.
It was very majestic.
So now it's time for our countdown. Would you say something more than yes?
Yeah, what do you want?
You freaking bitch. Okay, here
You
we
want to
go.
set me up to say something funny like,
Yeah.
you ate all the turkey.
Here's the countdown. Megan,
3,
Patrick,
2.
Brooke,
1.
Lois.
Play.
How about that? And we're opening up. We're joining a match in progress in Miami.
Yeah.
The referee is Bill Alfonso.
Mm-hmm.
Baby doll wanders around the outside.
Yeah.
And underneath the bright lights, it's
Mm-hmm.
Larry Zybysko and Barry Windham.
Who, by the way, as we have seen from earlier episodes of this, they're kind of battling for the Western States Heritage title at this time. I saw Larry Zybysko at Wrestle Cade as well. I hadn't seen him in a long time. Oh, but here's our open. Our beautiful music open, yeah.
I love this old school.
World Championship Wrestling, bringing you great wrestling action sanctioned by the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance.
So the Barry Windham is the Western States Heritage Champion. Larry Zybysko's got Baby Doll with him. I'm sorry, Barry Windham is the champ, but
right.
We I think this is the debut as we're looking at some empty seats there, or there's some people dressed up like empty seats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think JR's on the call here too with you.
Yeah,
in progress, but obviously one fall or a 20-minute time limit. And Tony, I think that just over 10 minutes has elapsed at this point.
You know, Jim, as we take a look at both men, obviously a lot of bad blood between both these two men, and both men are going all out. Windham.
Were you calling from an old AT&T or Cellular One phone line? What was that about?
It sounds terrible, doesn't it?
It does.
Reversal by Larry Zybysko back to the head scissor. These two men, Tony, are really having I think one of the most heated rivalries in wrestling right now. Windham being
boy, JR could spin that yarn even back then.
Yeah, he was and is tremendous. I really think here that if I recall this correctly, I really think here that the reason the sound is so shitty is because I don't think Turner Broadcasting went out and did many live wrestling events. You know, we had our own truck that we did syndication in, and they did a lot of those.
Right.
But for the Turner people, they were used to doing studio stuff. And maybe they went out and did some football games or whatever, but not wrestling. And I just remember when we would go out and do things live with Turner Broadcasting, there were always a lot of problems. Always.
Isn't that crazy too? It's a freaking TV company. You would think they would get it right if anybody would get it right.
Because I remember Starrcade '88, which was my last Starrcade before I left. When we did in Norfolk, and Magnum TA and I, if you'll recall, did the on cameras up in this up top. It was a terrible day of things not working and cameras not being ready, and it was just terrible. So, and there, Jim and I are not on headsets. We're holding microphones, stick mics. So there you go. How about that? Anyway, I saw Larry Zybysko for the first time in a long time at WrestleCade.
Did he finish his Hall of Fame speech yet? Last I heard, he was just rounding the corner.
I did not see his Hall of Fame, but Larry's aged quite a bit, as we all have. But that's just.
I love that. Anytime you run into somebody from the past, you're like, God, these motherfuckers are looking old.
They are, man.
I mean, wow, the last time I saw them, they were so young. I mean, I know that was 40 years ago, and I dye my hair every week, but damn.
And then I don't dye my hair every week.
Every other week.
I don't dye my hair.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you now.
I know what you're gonna say, but I dye my beard. That's as far as I go.
We're gonna you're gonna get your hair cut, and we're gonna have to do something about it as a community.
It's way too long. It's way too long, isn't it?
I mean, it looks like you're homeless, kind of.
Yeah. Matt Schiavone said, I said, so
oh
what's
my
wrong?
Gosh, listen to this.
I said, so what? Oh God. All right.
I don't have the audio here.
Yeah. There's no audio. Okay.
I've unmuted it and there's no audio.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm not making this up.
I'm sure you're not. Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Schiavone, cut your hair. Schiavone, cut your hair. I say, Schiavone, cut your hair. I say, I don't know what to say. Schiavone, cut your hair. So anyway, so as you know, Matt works with us in AEW now. So Matt looked at my hair kind of, had that. Can you hear this?
Let's track it. Let's try. I can't. Can you track it on your end?
Give it a shot here. No, there's nothing on my end.
What's happening here?
It's Mute TV.
Has Peacock shit the bed here?
They may have. Yeah,
Well-
I think
That's
I
even
think
better.
I'm proud to be an American, I think. And I'm going to go, I think, to be an American. Ric Flair, you may want to beat me at Starrcade, and you may, there it was.
To the ring. From
How wild is this, dude? This audio is all fucked up on Peacock. We finally found something wrong over there besides just terrible music that they've overdubbed.
Yeah, it's the commentary from the match.
I know, it's wild.
God,
We found something special here today.
we have found something special.
You know what's funny though is they're gonna blame you fucks for it.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's the way we got it.
Yeah. Winner said, history is always written by the winners. They beat us in the Monday Night Wars. Blah, 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 blah.
So this new dog you got. What's the deal
Yeah.
with this dog?
What's that?
What's the deal with the dog? Let's hear about the dog.
She's a puppy.
Ain't you too old for that shit now?
Well, I asked Lois, are you sure you want this? And once a puppy comes to the house, the puppy's here,
So Dr. Death here is going to be taking on Jerry Gray. We see that beautiful Reggie Parks UWF World Heavyweight Championship. What does it look identical to?
Well, he just set it down, so I don't know.
It is, that belt was the inspiration for the Ring of Honor World Title that Chris Jericho wears now.
Okay, very good.
Exact same belt, just with different letters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dr. Death, man and a half here. You talk about a big old barrel-chested motherfucker.
You're not kidding.
That was interesting. That was almost like a fireman's carry, inverted, fuck your mom schoolboy.
I always thought that Doc had a problem being a professional wrestler because he was such a good athlete and good at being an amateur wrestler, that it was hard for him to work. It was easy for him to beat the shit out of you, right? But hard for him to work. I just always thought that about him.
If you were going to be in the ring with somebody who was going to beat the shit out of you or work, what would you prefer?
Work.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't have guessed that because based on what I've heard back in the day, you and Lois were into some weird shit and you were into pain.
No, that's not true.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, man.
You have me mixed up with one of your other whack pack boys.
You think that was Jim Ross?
By the way, who's all involved in your whack pack now? I know that you've cut loose a bunch of guys and girls and told them to hit the fucking bricks. And
Wow, really?
yeah, so
my group chat's pretty much the same except for Mark Nielsen. He's no longer in the group.
I understand that.
Why did you laugh at that? Why was
Because
about that?
the way you would say that, he's no longer in the group.
Well, he's not.
Yeah.
I didn't lie. I didn't make that up.
Mm-hmm.
We love Mark.
Yeah, we do. It reminds me of took my granddaughter to WrestleCade as well. And
How old is your granddaughter now?
18.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. Oh, look at the 80s, man.
And
Way
so
people dress. So anyway, we were
took an 18-year-old girl around wrestlers.
we were going. Well, no, she worked my table and took pictures.
Okay.
I didn't let her around wrestlers. No.
Okay. I'm just asking questions. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I've been around the business long enough to know better than that.
Well, you just said I took her
Okay.
around. Well, okay.
So I'm trying to get the exchange right between her and Laurie. We were eating, and we had a couple of our family members who will go unnamed get overserved at Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and
Well, I can guess one of them.
yeah, and Lois says, make sure they don't drive home. And my daughter very innocently said, where else would they go?
Yeah.
And Laurie snapped just perfectly deadpan. Prison. Just, it made us laugh.
That was great. And
Yeah,
it made us laugh to see Jerry Gray think he had a shot against Dr. Death. Even Bill Alfonso knew better than that. He counted 3 as soon as he slid in the ring.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang. We're done.
And I'm looking at the closed caption here.
Yeah.
We're still calling the Windham match on audio.
Well, we're going to have you do a ringside promo. And if you know anything about Dr. Death promos, it's that they ain't good.
No.
So let's see if we got it or if we're still listening to commentary.
All right, go ahead.
From the earlier match. This should be fun. Let's check it. Yep. How about that? You literally have to make up what you're saying here as you're talking to Dr. Death.
Yeah, I
That
do.
title though looks just like the Ring of Honor belt, does it not?
Absolutely. Yeah, it wow. It really does. So is this like a Jeff Jones? You know, Jeff Jones is like a
Belt nerd.
Yeah, he's like, that's all he wants to talk about, belts.
Yes, he loves them.
And I like Jeff, but I just want to tell Jeff, Jeff, I don't give a fuck about belts.
Well, we know that because you've promised me one for years and never delivered. Don't you fucking say I know where it is and I can go get it anytime and all this horse shit.
Well, you know what? I know where it is. You know where it is. You can go get it anytime.
I'm going to be in Arizona this
Well,
coming.
that ain't San Diego, dude.
Well, that's closer than I'm going to get is what I'm saying.
Hey,
did you hear about that? That Cain Velasquez, you know, the UFC fighter who maybe heard that maybe someone was touching a family member inappropriately, and he went and attacked that person. He's now been released, and they're going to allow him to take his ankle bracelet off, from what I understand, and work a lucha match this weekend.
Wow.
I think that might be the first time that's ever happened. Like, to me, it feels like this is like, you should bring him out like the early days of Sabu and ECW. They used to wheel Sabu out to the ring on, hey, it's the promo's caught up now, so our sound's back.
Okay.
They used to wheel him out like on something you would like move furniture with or whatever.
Uh-huh.
My dad calls it a dolly. It's probably got another technical term. Anyway, he'd strap Sabu, Paul Heyman would strap him to this dolly and put like a Hannibal Lecter mask on him and let him go. But I think that would be cool if you did that for Cain, except you had an armed police officer like undo the ankle bracelet and then the match can begin. That'd be a real gimmick right there.
That would be a real gimmick.
Yeah.
Thought you were getting ready to tell me that Paulie strapped his talents to
a Golden Corral. Yeah, I know.
No, strapped him to things while he walked by with the house receipts and not pay him what he owed him. Wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Why do you have such disdain for Paul Heyman when he's never done anything wrong to you ever in his life?
I don't know what you're talking about. I love Paulie. I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's apparent here on this program how much you love him. So, what are you naming this stupid fucking mutt that's going to tear your house up and shit?
First of all, it's not a stupid fucking mutt. It's a wonderful little beagle, a Kirby.
That's right. You told us at the top. And this is named after the piece of shit Georgia head coach who is no more.
If you want to call him that, it is named after the Georgia head coach. We had a Dooley too, named after the late Vince Dooley. So
why don't you name it after a coach who's actually going to win something?
Like the national championship last year?
Yes.
Okay.
What about that?
What about
why
that?
Why didn't you name him after that?
Yeah, that's because that's Kirby Smart won the national championship last year. And hell may do it again.
Hey, they are like real deal number one. I don't think there's any fucking doubt they're the best team in football this year.
Yeah. No, I don't think so either. And I would relish the did they just stop a match in the middle?
They sure did. And now we're jumping right into Empty Seat Jones, Barbarian and Warlord.
What the fuck?
And a 6-man tag, I think. There's somebody else out there. This is the most random episode of World Championship Wrestling we've ever seen.
Sting and Bob Cook, and all of a sudden here's the Warlord and the Barbarian against Gene Ligon. And Jesus.
I mean, this is a crazy episode here.
Yeah, man, it is.
We need a little finder's fee because they didn't know this was happening. It also tells you how few people are actually watching Peacock and some of this older stuff. I got the inside track that nobody watches the old stuff. It's up to guys like me and you to actually, hey, go watch this old shit.
Look how the lights are blinking, how the ropes make the lights blink. So really, so inside track, no one watches this old stuff anymore?
Nope.
Including the guys who post it.
Yeah, clearly. But that's my point is, you know, everybody uses the network or Peacock for the new stuff. So if there's like a new documentary, they watch that.
Yeah.
They'll watch the latest Raw, the latest SmackDown, the latest, I don't guess they call them pay-per-view anymore, premium live events, whatever.
Sure. Well,
so watch all that shit. But this old stuff, like if you're waiting around hoping, man, I hope one day they upload a whole bunch of the old Jim Crockett stuff. Keep waiting, buddy. It ain't happening.
Yeah, I kind of wonder now because of space that, you know, everything is on obviously servers, and servers take up a lot of space and they're expensive. And oh, look at that. Holy shit. Kid didn't even go up and he's going to pay for it.
I don't think I'd want to be him.
No, me neither. I just wonder if they're going to start getting rid of some of the stuff.
Yeah, probably.
To make room for, you know, when it gets full. And instead of uploading to a different server or whatever, they'll just say, we'll just erase all this shit and put this stuff may have seen its time.
No doubt. And here's the other thing too, the value of it's going down. There's a couple of guys out there, I think, who were holding on thinking, well, one day I'll sell this to WWE. You probably missed your chance, bud.
Yeah.
I think it's over now.
Wow. Huh. That's a shame, isn't it?
So
the further out you go into the future, the less valuable some of the shit that you thought was valuable and was part of your childhood is.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot like the people who were in it. Like, nope. So somebody the other day say, wait a minute, you mean Klondike Bill used to wrestle?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, boy, did he ever wrestle bears and everything else.
One day people will say, whatever happened to Tony Schiavone?
And that time he'll be dead and happy.
It might go peacefully.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm going to go peacefully, but
I
have more years behind me than ahead. I know that. Oh,
boy, I had a joke right there ready to go, and then I just remembered what you do for a living, and I just said, I'll just keep that one to myself. Tell him off air. But timing in comedy is everything, and boy, I had one. Unfortunately, so did Paul Jones' Army. They get the win here. And then you were talking about how different wrestling is. These days, we'd never let those empty seats persist. We would have people in those seats by now.
Or we would at least try to darken them. And if
just
you see on that shot, there's plenty of people there. It's like we were shooting. Wait a minute, didn't we have this a moment ago?
Buddy, this is just a shit show.
Project was to make world champions out of the two biggest men, the Barbarian and the Warlord. And I figured I was about a year away putting them together, knowing that they're the two world.
Did you ever hear a good Paul Jones promo?
Never. In any era.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah. I just, man, we had this interview unless they haven't them talk twice.
No, I think what happened is we got out of sorts.
Did we ever?
Yeah. By the way, this show aired on the 5th. It was actually recorded 3 days before the Night Center, December 2nd. Only 2,000 folks here in Miami.
This was in the Miami Beach Convention Center?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know,
I remember
you ran the convention center on September 9th.
Okay.
But this show, I believe, was a TV taping on December 2nd.
Okay. All right. I just remember running both, and you know, we've run the Night Center's AEW too, and
oh, here we go, and we're running a commercial, so I think you and I should too, Tony. I'm at 1934. When I hit 40, I'm gonna pause.
All right.
Wish I could have did that in my real life, but I didn't. Instead, I found Athletic Greens, and buddy, you will too. Let me just tell you, my wife Megan, it's been a health nut.
Yeah.
You know, always say that about me necessarily, but her, buddy, she's up early. She's eating the right things. She's exercising. She's running. She's doing her deal. And when the pandemic started, she said, hey, baby, I got something we got to start doing every day. And once I realized it was just drinking a delicious drink, I was in. Because I didn't want to take a bunch of nasty tasting shit. I didn't. I wanted something that's going to taste good. Yes. I'm not going to have to dread. Well, AG1 checked all the boxes. Now, my wife wanted me to do it because it better supports our immune system. But I've learned since that with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens, everything you need to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, your focus, your recovery, your aging, all of your things. It's also lifestyle friendly. Whether you're eating keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, we're talking less than 1 gram of sugar, y'all. No GMOs, no nasty chemicals, no artificial anything, and it still tastes good. It's going to support better sleep quality, better recovery, better mental clarity, better alertness. And by the way, don't just take Tony and I's word for it. These jokers got over 7,000 5-star reviews. Think about that. 7,000 5-star reviews? I couldn't tell you the last time I left a review for anything. But when I did, it was damn awesome. And everybody agrees Athletic Greens and AG1 are that. And Tony, we've got a special little offer put together, don't we?
Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. And it's just 1 scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/WHW. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/WHW to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
How about that? And with that in mind, Tony, we're going to jump right back into the show. Season 3, episode 48. I'm at 1940 and 3, 2, 1, play.
Ladies and gentlemen, even though he lost.
Look, dude, here's our Ronnie Garvin promo. It's exactly what we're talking about.
I bet you Sting's going to wrestle too again.
This is some crazy shit, but I'm having fun with it. By the way, this is indeed the episode. We talked about it last week, where we're going to start to see Lex Luger and the 4 Horsemen, maybe some cracks start to develop.
Yeah.
It's at this very same TV taping where we see an interview and then maybe some physicality. I don't think the physicality airs until next week. But I know for sure that this has the promo where we'll pay special attention to JJ Dillon. I hope you're watching along with us. We're season 3, episode 48 of World Championship Wrestling. Some really kind of nuanced stuff here I think is going to make for a good show.
Yeah. You know, something I've noticed already about this show is, and this is how different things were with WCW back then and with the WWE or then WWF, which had their syndicated shows, and how different it is today. Entrances were such a big part of WWF back then and are such a big part of wrestling today. But in this show, which is not a studio show, it's an arena show, there are no entrances. They just came right up with guys in the ring. So that's how Jim Crockett approached wrestling back then. We don't need them fancy entrances. We can have them for the pay-per-views, but not regular TV. And you know, Superstars and Challenge back then had entrances. They would walk through, right? Walk through the crowd. And there's David Crockett, our buddy. Saw David this weekend. See, we started.
Oh my gosh!
Dr. Death's going to wrestle again, and then that means he's going to talk again.
This is JR's dream show. The only thing better than seeing one Dr. Death match is 2.
Yeah.
Tony, while we're waiting here, I make notes throughout my week of things I feel like I got to tell Tony about that. So let me just go ahead and pull out the handy dandy notes and
oh boy,
just ask a few questions. All right,
this is where Tony defends his company.
We talked about jacking off 4 times, shit in 5. We talked about Vince fucking the Warrior. Oh, I did want to get your take on something.
Mhm.
You know, my wife and pretty much every woman in her side of the family
Whoa.
is obsessed
Okay.
with a certain type of what I thought was pretty specific to ladies' athletic gear. And I find myself every holiday season waiting in the parking lot of this place while they all go shopping. And then if I need a last minute present from anyone on that side of the family, I know I can go in there and get a gift card and it'll work out. I'm talking about Lululemon.
Lululemon.
And I've recently discovered
Mhm.
they make clothes for men.
That's what I understand.
I think that's a little sus.
Huh.
Where are you at on Lululemon for men?
I'm not for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear your reasoning here.
When I think of Lululemon, I think of yoga pants, right? Or
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those pants that women seem to wear that
A lot.
Yeah, they seem to wear a lot that, they
Accentual
say,
things.
they say the three things that don't lie: a drunk person, a kid, and Lululemon pants.
Hmm.
In other words, if you have a rear end that may be a little bit bigger than you want,
Okay.
Lululemon is going to enhance that. In other words, they're not going to hide that. You can't hide it.
Right.
If you have a flat ass, it's going to show it. So unless guys really want to show their rear ends, I haven't really looked up Lululemon for men. I haven't looked up to see what. Well, let me look on the. Well, okay. There's a workout mat, and then there's pants. Do you know? Matt Schiavone has a pair of Lululemon pants for men.
What?
Yes, he does.
Matt Schiavone is smuggling plums?
And he says it's the most comfortable pants that he's ever worn. That's
Well,
what
he can probably wear a fucking dress and find that very comfortable too. Why don't he put on Lois's goddamn nightgown? Gather around, children. This is super comfortable.
So
By the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, nothing wrong with that at all.
It feels like it's a lady store.
It does. When I found out that they have now, listen, they are known for active wear, workout gear, all that stuff. I get it.
I'm sure they do a great job, but you don't see me strutting ass in the Lane Bryant. I got a store.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of,
they got hoodies, which I love hoodies. So
let's just hear him struggle here, can we?
Who's
you
that?
talking to Dr. Death? Looks like you're selling thermal insurance.
Great to be in Miami. I'm no stranger to Miami. I've been to the Orange Bowl 3 times, so I've been around here in Miami. You know about the Starcade, the greatest thing in professional wrestling. You know, Barry Windham gave me the greatest wrestling match, greatest fight I've ever been in. He's a great athlete. I ain't taking nothing from you, Barry, because I'm a Barry Windham fan myself. But I beat you simply as this. I beat you with a wrestling move. I am the wrestling machine of the year of the world. Now, Bunkhouse Stampede. If there's anybody who knows about the Stampede, it's myself. I'm the great fossil of the great holder of the UWF belt. The Stampedes. They're going around and round the United States. And if it's on the board at the Civic Center, Bunkhouse Stampede. Don't you miss it. Don't you miss it, because it's the greatest thing coming to you. And Tony, I'm going to tell everybody, the American Dream, Lex Luger, rock and roll, everybody who gets in that squared circle, we're not friends no more.
All right, that from Steve.
Well, he was a good wrestler.
Yeah, he was. Did he call himself a fossil?
I don't think so.
Oh, he said, I'm the fossil with the belt. It sounded like.
Oh, yeah. Last week, he said he was a fossil
Okay.
from the UWF.
Okay. How about this? Sting and Bob Cook are going to wrestle. Who knew?
And the only thing better than one Sting match is
1.5.
yes, 1.5.
One and a half. Absolutely. Man, Bob Cook was a Florida guy and been around a long time. I remember Bob. Not many of these job guys I remember, but I do Bob because he was.
So tell me more about your son Matt's balls.
My son's Matt's boss.
Balls, BALLS. His scrotum.
I don't know. I don't know much about his balls.
Well, you were telling me all about his balls and his pants and.
No, I was saying that he had a pair of Lululemon pants.
Did you start to say Lululemon?
Yeah,
you trying to get fancy on me.
Yeah, Lululemon.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm from Alabama. Okay.
Lululemon. Lululemon. Lululemon.
We
gotta stop talking about them because unless they sponsor us,
Is that how Excalibur pronounces their name? Lululemon Suicida.
Oh God.
Or as it's called here in America, Target.
Hey, I did have a good time at WrestleCade. It was my first one.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I got to reconnect with a lot of and I felt really bad about one thing. One thing. Went outside, went downstairs just for a time, and a kid with a poster said, "Tony, could I have your autograph?"
And he kicked him in the dick and pushed him down.
No, I did not, but I pretended I didn't hear him. I just kept walking.
Oh, Tony.
I can't do that, Conrad. How about all these people that already paid? Is that fair to them?
Tony.
What?
This is how the Ultimate Warrior got a bad reputation.
I couldn't do it. I should have said, son, I would love to, but I can't. I mean,
someone paid me to be here.
No, we are charging upstairs for autographs, and it's not fair to all these guys who got these autographs and paid this money for me to give it to you for free. Does that make sense?
So what?
Of course, you're going to say no, and you're going to try to go the other way with it. So go ahead.
No, fucking know it all. It's fine. Just hey, I want everybody listening who knows that it feels like they know Tony Schiavone, and you feel like you're part of our lives because we come on here every week and just spill our guts and you spend all this time with us each and every week. And for Tony, you've done it goddamn 40 years now. But if you happen to see him out in the wild and you've got your young kid who just got his very first ever Tony Schiavone figure and he's really excited to see him and he wants his picture made, don't fucking bother him. He'll pretend he can't hear you, not because he has neck issues and turns his head like this, but he'll just pretend he fucking can't hear you. Keep fucking walking. And unless you approach him with $100 bill hanging out of your pocket, get fucked. By the way, if you meet Ric Flair, he'll sign your little kid's autograph. But Tony Schiavone, no, too big of a goddamn star.
Don't you ever
yeah,
put me and Ric Flair in the same sentence again,
motherfucker. I won't.
Don't you ever. Don't you ever.
Yeah,
he doesn't do shit.
He signs for little kids.
He doesn't do shit.
Signs for little kids.
Okay.
Shows up to my wedding. Signs for little kids.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hey, so real deal now. If let's say a little rugrat approaches you this Wednesday after
I'm going to sign everything this Wednesday. I'm going to sign every time you see me. I will sign something. I will make time for you because it's important. But now I'm not even going into this anymore. Track the fucking Road Warrior interview.
And we ain't going to start now. We
ain't signing autographs, so we ain't going to start now.
Right here.
We're big stars.
And the animal.
That's exactly right, JR.
In professional wrestling. And don't you ever forget it. Tell him, Hawk.
Don't you ever forget it, Conrad. What a liar. Hell. What a piece of shit from Alabama. Yeah. His wife works out. He doesn't do shit, but he probably wears Lululemon pants and yanks off. Yeah, what a rush. Tell him, Paul.
To us.
Speaking of beating off, I heard a story this week that I wanted to share.
Okay, why don't you email it to me? So, Paul E.
That's Paul Ellering. I mean, that is Paul E.
Paul Ellering talked to his daughter this week.
How great is she?
She's one of the great people. Isn't she one of the sweetest ladies ever?
Well, I'm pulling for her. I hope she gets to wrestle on TV again real soon. Super nice lady, very talented in-ring performer.
Yeah, I like her
a lot. Have a lot of time for her, as you would say.
She was there at the Ric Flair last match. She wrestled during that show. And
she did.
I just love her. Paul should be very proud. He raised a nice young lady. And I didn't realize until yesterday, and I was told this, is she engaged to Chris Hero?
She is. Well, hang on. I don't know that that's out there. We might want to. It's out there now. Okay.
Okay, it is out there. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that it's out there. I know that it's happened.
Okay. Well, anyway, so because she was talking
the world, you know.
She was talking about her fiance and being there and everything, and then somebody said, "It's Chris Hero," and I went, "Wow, I didn't know that." How about that?
How about that?
Chris Hero, who I've never met, by the way. And
wrestling genius, though. Nice guy.
Okay, good for him.
Oh, wow, man, you just real dismissive today.
No.
I bet if Chris Hero smuggled them plums and some Lululemon, you'd be in.
Yeah, boy.
So anyway, I want to tell you about my friend from high school.
Okay.
We used to call him Bent Dick Billy. Now, I don't think that was the name that was on his driver's license, but I can't be sure.
All right. What about Billy?
Bent Dick Billy, he, one day, you know how guys get to a certain age where they're like, oh, whatever, and they do one of these hand motions?
Okay.
Like, that's the thing, right? You know, that's a universal. What would you, universal what, Tony? I mean, how would you describe that motion, that hand motion?
Yeah, fuck off motion.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I was going to say jack off, but yeah, there's often.
Yeah,
anyway, he did that motion one day in a group. Like, oh yeah, this guy. But his did like a right turn. It was like he was signaling a turn. It was like, you know, from where we were sitting, it was like that JFK back and to the left. Like it was a hook.
So you go.
Right. It was like, and it was like off to the right. And we're like, it's almost like a tire iron for your Peter.
Okay.
And I wondered, how would that happen? Like, I understand, I've known guys, and you have too, who have missed and broke their dick and bent it and, you know, whatever. But when you're in high school, how would that have happened already?
I don't know anybody who missed and broke their dick.
You know me.
Okay. All right. TMI on that one, buddy. Okay.
Well, what happens?
So anyway, back to Billy.
How would that happen in high school? I mean, that rascal, he was hanging a hard right.
Yeah. Well, you're young and your bones are fragile.
Oh, really? You got bones in your Peter meat?
Well, yes. Where do you think the term "got a boner" came from?
Buddy, I need you to look right in the camera in a loud and clear voice and say, you think there are penis bones. I need that in my life so bad. I need a penis bone shirt out of this bit.
I need a penis bone.
We got to have penis bone shirts. I need you to work it into Wednesday TV. Next time somebody gets a low blow, I want you to go, what is the penis bone? Can you imagine if you step on Taz's enunciation of Yambag Jones with right in the penis bone? It'll start trending. Hashtag penis bone.
God almighty.
And I wonder what it would be like. Do you think you would have like little fragile fish bones in yours?
No, I don't know.
Maybe.
So anyway, where in the hell is this story going? Or has it gone?
That was it. It's gone.
Okay, thank you. So
I
listen,
was looking for your old man advice about how it could bend, and then you said, "Well,
I
I
don't
never
know.
knew
Listen, I
anybody
don't
with
know
a
how it
bent
can
one."
bend.
You never missed ever, Tony.
I don't have enough to have something bend. God, man, you
How do you bend a thimble? I guess
yeah,
that's fair.
you big penis guys are on a different level than me. I don't know.
Woo!
I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't know. This is Stan in a singles match, right?
Yeah, man.
I just realized
Against
this.
Kendall Windham.
Kendall Windham.
So we saw Bobby, and now here's Stan.
Mm-hmm.
Stan, of course, looks like a miniature Lex Luger. Like, honey, I struck the Luger.
Yeah, it is. He does. Saw Lex this past weekend.
Was he covered in baby oil? Oh no. I was
No,
talking about Stan.
No, he was sitting right beside us and talked to him. And I'm trying to think of who else I saw. Man,
Is there a nicer human being?
What than Lex Luger right now? No,
I don't think there is.
I don't know. You're right. Saw Tully for first time in a while, and Jimmy the Boogie Woogie Man Valiant. I saw him.
Haven't seen him since July.
Yeah, but he's I love you, Tony. I just love you.
I love you, baby.
I said love. So here's my daughter. Oh, I love you because you're Tony's daughter. Here's my granddaughter Lizzie. Oh, I love you because you're Tony's granddaughter. And here are my friends Brooke and Patrick and Megan. And we had a chance to walk around and see people. It was pretty freaking cool. Pretty freaking cool. It's my first WrestleCade, and it was.
Oh, that's your first one ever?
Ever, yeah.
Man, it's really great. I make it a point to go to every WrestleCade and WrestleCon I can. WrestleCade is, its own Thanksgiving tradition.
Yeah, it is. And then of course a lot of the people. Okay, so back to the story about my hair.
Yeah.
So I told Matt. I said, Matt, of course, works for us now, and he was looking at my hair, kind of, and I said, "What's wrong with my hair?" He said, "Oh, your hair looks fine. It's just not the hair."
Oh, wait, hang on. We got to track this.
All
this
right.
is Dusty.
The boot, the prestige, the money of the Bunkhouse Stampede. Being the baddest of the bad. Being the bull of the woods, if you will. 25, 30 men stampeded into one little bit of ring, you understand? With one thing in mind, to hurt somebody, to kick somebody's booty, to twist their arm off and put their ankles up in the chin. And many mornings I got up dwelling on the fact of being the 2-time winner of the Bunkhouse Stampede. How am I going to do it this year? When last year I had to feel around, see if my nose was still on my face. Look up in the morning and see if my ears were still on my head. My eyeballs in this socket were playing steady on my mind. Because I knew Dusty Rhodes has to be the Bunkhouse Stampede champion for the 3rd time. If you will, for your hockey fans, it's a hat trick. You understand? It's a hat trick. And Dusty Rhodes now comes at you with this in mind. Anywhere, any place that on the marquee you see the National Wrestling Alliance presents the Bunkhouse Stampede. If you want to just feel a little bit of how bad it is to be the baddest, to be the bull of the woods, then and only then, buy your ticket, walk in and sit down and watch Dusty Rhodes become the bull of the woods.
Dude, are we going to see a better promo in our life?
No, he was so good. He was beyond good. Here's another gooder.
Oh, this is a great promo. I love the look here too. This feels like a WWF style taping. You do it in front of a crowd with the lights in the background.
Yeah.
We got JJ Dillon and David Crockett, and here's Flair suited and booted with the big gold.
I think for 1 second this has to be a mutual admiration society. I'm standing here with the best manager, the executive director of the greatest group of wrestlers in the world today, the Four Horsemen. James J. Dillon, he makes and he breaks champions just like that. When Ric Flair came along, Jim Dillon said, "Nature Boy, you're the kind of man I like to stand next to." JJ, styles and profiles. The Nature Boy, styles and profiles. And no matter how much Some of you people out there don't like the way it looks. You've got to learn to live with it, because the bottom line is I'm the best wrestler in the world today. And what I tell you is no fairy tale. I've walked that aisle now 5 times to bring you the most coveted trophy in this sport. I'm talking about the one and only World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Ric Flair, synonymous with the world title. The Four Horsemen, the legendary group that makes and breaks wrestling promotions. We rule. Nikita Koloff, Dusty Rhodes, the Road Warriors. The list is endless of talent that wants to be in the ring with us. Because when you're in the ring with us, it's a big payday, it's notoriety, it's prestige, unequaled in this sport. On this very program, in about 40 minutes, I'm going to step in the ring one more time. My first title defense in over 2 years on national television. And Michael Hayes, you like all the rest will find out why. Above all else, diamonds are forever. And so is Ric Flair, the best in this sport. Whether you like it or not, learn to love it, because David Crockett, it's the best thing going today. Ooh.
They say the Four Horsemen rule wrestling. There are 2 of them in the ring right now, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard.
So we got Arn and Tully against Nelson Royal and the Italian Stallion, who's still probably trying to find a way to squeeze a few bucks out of Matt Hardy. I wanted to ask you about something that is sweeping the nation, but before I do, we got to finish this story about your hair, Tony.
So Matt looks at my hair, and he just gives a kind of a sideways look, because Matt's, you know, we like to think that Schiavones are kind of a fun-loving crowd. Matt has always been the serious one of us.
Right.
So Matt kind of looks at me sideways, and I said, and this is after I sprayed my hair up and did all the stuff to it, and I said, "What, you don't like my hair? What's wrong?" He said, "No, your hair's fine. It's just not the hair a television announcer should wear on a nationwide telecast."
Right.
Wow, did that hit me between the eyes. So I can tell everybody that when you see me, if you see me, you never know if I'm going to be on TV or not. If you see me this week, I will have cut my hair.
Fuck.
What?
Fuck.
What's wrong with that? I mean, you text my daughter every day. We got to do something about your dad's hair.
I did not text her every day.
Yeah, okay.
Texted her once recently.
Yeah.
But I had a whole thing lined up for next week. We had a hair intervention lined up. All the Schiavone kids were going to be there. DDP was going to put it together. It was going to sound something like this. Tony, we're all here today because we care about you and we're worried about you. We're going to say what we have to say, and then you're going to say what you have to say, and then we're done.
Okay.
And then Lori Schiavone was going to hold up a crumpled sheet of paper and through tears say, "Dad, your horrible haircut has affected my life in the following ways." And just rattle it all off. And at the end, we were going to have a little run in from Lois. She had already coordinated. Ed Leslie was going to sneak upstairs and cut your hair, strutting and cutting, Brutus the fucking Barber beefcake style, right here, live on camera on WHW.
Yeah.
And instead, you're running down to the supercuts and going to let some jack off named Bent Dick Billy with a hook Peter and a lot of fractured hashtag penis bones cut your Kentucky waterfall.
That's right.
Now, isn't it true?
No, it's not.
That you grow your hair out because you are self-conscious of a scar?
Well, I do have a scar back there. I did have neck surgery. A lot of people who never spent much time with me will say, "Something wrong with your neck?" I'll say, "Yeah, it's fused, dude."
Yeah.
I can't really turn right and I can turn right and left, but not like most people do. And I've been so used to, instead of turning to see somebody, just turn with my, just pivot. And So yeah, Lois has always been a proponent of long hair because of my neck scar, but not this long. I mean, this is like, I don't think my hair's ever been this long, to be honest with you.
You look like you wear, like, what are those moccasin shoes? My dad calls them dope smokers. That's what you look like. You look like a dope smoker.
I'm not a dope smoker.
No, I know. But you got the haircut for one. You look like the type of guy who would approach people like in middle school and be like, "Hey, kid, you holding? Got any extras?"
All right, so I'll clean that up this week.
Fuck. Like, there's no refund on the DDP cameo.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, bro, I cut the video, bro. So there you see, Spinebuster gets it done. They're taking a break. I think we should too, Tony. They're at 48. Right. No, damn the commercial.
All right.
We're right to a promo. And this might be one of the best promos. I don't know. This Tully one snuck up on me. Let's take a listen.
It looks like to me, it looks like the Horsemen got more hardware than true value. I'm talking about the World Tag Team Champions, the World Heavyweight Champion. Congratulations, boys. Thank you, JJ. You know what it is? There's a lot of people that believe in their hearts that we're the baddest and we're the toughest. But in the record books and the marquees, from one end of the world to the other, you got to have this before you're the baddest, before you're the best, before your name is at the top of all the lists. And if you don't have this, you're second best at the very best. And don't you forget it. David Crockett, what you were like, what your brother were like, being the NWA. And rest assured, Jim Crockett Promotions is the NWA. You would like on the tag team situation for there to be parity. By parity, I mean any 1 of 10 teams on any given night can take these from the Horsemen. If you had it that way, you would have what is the ideal situation in all of sports. But the only way you're going to have parity, David Crockett, is to take a year out of our life and send the Horsemen on an extended vacation. Because the bottom line is, there's a lot of great teams, fantastic teams in the NWA, but they're 1 octave below the Horsemen. You see, we don't care anything about doing endorsements. We don't like to be movie stars. What we are wrestlers. We achieved our notoriety, and rest assured, when we walk in a shopping mall, it might as well be Johnny Carson. We achieved our notoriety through wrestling in the ring. We don't mind sweating. We don't mind sacrificing. You see, stars are in Hollywood. Stars are in the sky. What the Horsemen are, the reason we are the elite, is whether we got the flu, whether we got an injury, whether we miss a plane, somehow we show up and we give 110% every night of our life. So when we tell you we're the Horsemen and we're the elite, believe it, because that's what we put our credibility on. You know, what is it, Double A? Diamonds are forever, and so are the Horsemen. Yeah.
All right, fans, let's go to the ring for more action.
Man, I don't know what it was about Tully, but Tully made a belt seem important. Did he know it?
He did. And those comments by Arn make me think of something.
Oh, yeah?
I really think we have a lot of fun here, but honestly, and I don't know what made me think about this just the other day. It was probably maybe after seeing a lot of the guys at WrestleCade.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that that helped, there's a lot of things that helped JCP go out of business.
Right.
But I think one of the things that hastened JCP going out of business was no-shows. We had tons of no-shows at arena events. And sometimes those no-shows involved Dusty, who was booking it. Just didn't feel like going. And you heard what Arn said there, whether we have the flu, or we miss a plane. I think he was ribbing on the square there.
Yeah.
I think he was ripping on guys not making towns. And that, to me, of all that you can do as an organization, a wrestling organization, if you don't give them the match that was advertised, that's the worst thing you can do. The absolute worst thing you can do. And I really think, and that happened a lot in JCP, because I knew some of the promoters like Henry Marcus, like the Murnicks up in Raleigh, Peter Postloo and Roanoke, sometimes what they had advertised didn't show up. They would always have someone in their place, right? But it wasn't the name they advertised.
Right.
So I just think that's such bad business. And I think we got into that in this era because I guess, I don't know. I'm not blaming, I guess you could say maybe I blame Dusty. I don't know. We just were too big for our pants. We don't need to make this town. Everything will be fine. Bullshit. Make your fucking towns or do something else. And I get it. Those guys back in the day worked 8-9 shows a week.
Right.
So I get that they're tired but I just think that interview that Arn did had some meaning to it.
Yeah.
And it was ironic that it was around the same time I was thinking about how a lot of guys missed shows back then. He just agreed with me.
He did.
Yeah.
It sounded like a dog.
Yeah.
I don't know what I expected, but that was fun. Hey, I wanted to get your opinion on something that you may have seen. Maybe it's not on your radar yet. Are you in the loop on this new Christmas musical? Because I know how much you like Christmas, and I know how much you like musicals.
I like musicals a lot better than I like Christmas.
Wait, you don't love Jesus?
I love Jesus.
This is his birthday, bro.
Well, it's not really his birthday.
Christmas ain't his birthday?
Well, it's not. The meaning of Christmas is not what it was. So anyway, what about this new musical?
Spirited. I didn't know it was a musical. I sat down really excited to see a Will Ferrell Christmas movie, stupidly thinking, oh man, Elf was funny. This will be a musical with Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Took me 2 sittings, but I finished it.
Okay. I know it's on Apple TV, Apple Plus.
Yep.
I thought about watching it.
Do you like people singing?
Love it. Love musicals.
Think you're in.
Okay. Do are they new songs?
Yeah.
Okay. So
81% audience score, 68% tomato meter.
Okay. There's the problem now. When you said, is it new music? Okay. There's not much good music out there anymore.
What does that mean?
Compared to the 80s. That's just an old man talking. You know? Yeah. Well, music ain't what it used to be. I mean, there ain't no more of that stuff that we used to listen to, like Led Zeppelin and the Beatles. And let's see, who else I talk about that we used to, the Outlaws. Remember the Outlaws? They had one good album. Ain't it?
Hang on now. Hang
Okay.
on. This song here.
Leonard Skinner.
Ooh, baby, do you know that's what?
That was the #1 song, December 5th, 1987. The show we're watching, the day it aired.
Yeah.
That's the #1 song.
Ooh, heaven is a place on earth.
Okay.
You like that better?
Yeah.
Music today.
Yeah, I do. It's just possible because I'm older than you, dude. The Eagles? You kidding me? I listen to the Eagles all the time. I listen to so there it is. It's not a knock on today's music. It's the same way with my parents. My parents hated the music I listened to, so it's a generational thing. It always is. You know that.
Well, you know what? It turns out the #1 song right now is Taylor Swift, so I agree.
Yeah, so there you go. Okay.
Tony Schiavone, wise beyond his years.
That's right. And like somebody I was talking to the other day, it's one of our wrestlers. I can't remember. Don't you love Taylor Swift? I went, no, I don't love Taylor Swift. She may have had a couple of good songs, but no. Well, guess what? She's got 19 songs on the top 100 now. I said, who gives a flying fuck?
Great.
Yeah. Good for her. May she make more money and dump more boyfriends than ever. Or more boyfriends dump her than ever. But
I wonder why that keeps happening. You ever think it's you simple bitch?
That would be it.
Just saying. Hey, over the weekend, maybe it was at the very end of last week. I don't recall. What are you laughing about?
You simple.
You simple bitch got you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to use that. You simple bitch. Okay. What about over the weekend?
A tweet came out.
Oh, God.
From your boy.
Which one?
At the Real Disco.
Oh.
Tweets out 95% of modern day wrestlers have no clue how to get over.
Okay.
Your response?
From someone who didn't know how to get over either? Yeah. Fuck him. I agree there are people that don't know how to get over. But I don't think it's 95%. Why do we even validate? Why do we even just amplify what that fucking dumbass cocksucker said, who, if he knew what he was doing, wouldn't be doing a shoe show in Vegas? Okay? If he really knew what he was doing,
if he really knew what he was doing, he wouldn't have us watching a Lex Luger promo. Watch JJ's facials.
There's a lot of discussion being thrown around about the aftermath of Starrcade 87.
Watch JJ's face.
Athletes involved. A lot of great matches were won and lost. But the bottom line is that the Four Horsemen delivered. Arn and Tully delivered. Ric Flair delivered. And Lex Luger stood toe-to-toe and did battle like he has never done before with the legend. And yes, you've proven to me, Dusty Rhodes, you are the legend himself. I had that match in control. So what comes out of Starrcade? The fact is this, that Lex Luger is ready. I've proven to myself to establish myself as a dominant force in professional wrestling today. As an athlete, Lex Luger, the total package, has no equal. You see, it's time for me to step out of the pack, to stand on my own, to take no one's shadow, because I am the athlete of the year 2000. I am the man with all the physical tools. It's time for the total package to fulfill his potential, to fulfill my destiny, and that is to be the best that this sport has ever seen. The next decade will be the sphere of dominance. The superstar standing right here before you, looking you in the eye right now, that this sport has ever seen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Lex Luger, one of the Four Horsemen. Now let's go to the ring. Tony and Jim, you got him.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So here we see Jim Cornette introducing Beautiful Bobby. He's going to be in singles action here, but you can see the seeds being planted there as Luger's bragging about all the success that the Horsemen enjoyed at Starrcade. Of course, we know that the Road Warriors didn't pick up the tag titles. Arn and Tully retained.
Right.
Ric Flair won the world title back, but unfortunately, Lex Luger lost the U.S. title, and he's bragging as if they all, did what they were supposed to do. And you could see JJ in the back like, what? Yeah. And then Luger says, it's time for me to step out of the shadows and blah, blah, blah. And sort of saying, hey, I'm getting ready to leave the Horsemen here. On this same taping, which we're going to see highlights of next week. And next week will be the first time that we actually get to see our man in the studio. Jim Ross will be in the studio. But we would see Lex Luger win a Bunkhouse Stampede match when he last eliminated J.J. Dillon. So that's going to be an issue because Anderson gets on the apron, tells Luger to take a dive like the rest of them did so J.J. could win. When that doesn't happen, Luger press slams Blanchard, drops Anderson with a power slam, puts him in the torture rack, and then Tully hits Luger in the back of the knee with a steel chair, and then they just gang up and beat the shit out of him. So we see the seed planted at this TV taping and this same taping, which will air next week, Luger no longer a horseman. But it feels like to me in that promo, it was kind of Luger's idea, and we'll see that happen next week. So I don't know if it's so much Luger was kicked out of the Horseman as much as Luger quit the Horseman.
It reminds me of something else back in the day, and I think I've touched on this before. First of all, I want to say the video font was wrong. Shows you how fucking big idiots we were. They said the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette would be wrestling, and it's Beautiful Bobby. So
right.
That was wrong. That's number one. It reminds me of something back in the day, and when I saw Dusty do that promo, and I knew the push that Luger was getting as turn a big baby face. And I think I brought this up before. As the calendar turns to the new year, we have the Bunkhouse Stampede in Nassau Coliseum. I think I'm right about this. In a cage, Bunkhouse Stampede final, and there was no question, even me, who had only been in the business 4 years, 5 years at that time, and really didn't know that much. Even I, when Dusty went over in that Bunkhouse Stampede match to win the boot for a third time, I even thought, man, Luger should have won this.
Right.
And he didn't. And that was a sore point with a lot of the guys. Obviously, Tully was the most vocal. But Arn and Flair, everybody knew that Luger, if we were going to elevate him as this big star, the way he looked, breaking away from the Horseman, being his own man, that he should have gone over. And he didn't. Dusty went over with his own booking. Of course, he was the booker. So, again, you see cracks in the armor of JCP.
Right.
I mean, I know that there are cracks in the armor because they're spending money that they don't have, but guys not making towns. Dusty booking himself on top when it was. I mean, Dusty had some genius booking ideas. He really did, but when it came right down to the Bunkhouse Stampede, he did not need to go over, and he put himself over in that. I really believe that's one of the things that I really believe that show really hurt us. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe it really hurt us.
We were talking beforehand about how much, and I don't mean to interrupt you, and I certainly don't want to put words in your mouth, but I just want to sort of recap where we were before. You were saying how you agreed with everything that Disco says.
No, I don't agree with anything Disco. I agree that a lot of guys don't know how to get over. But I also agree with anybody that think Disco's a fucking idiot. That's what I agree with, because he is an idiot. Yeah, it is hurtful because he's an idiot. The fact that you and I amplify what he says on our show that has legitimate wrestling fans and not a bunch of guys that want to just shit on everything like his fan base does is, I don't even know why we amplify it, because he sucks.
I'm not trying to amplify it. I wanted to bring it up as a debate because I don't think that's fair.
No, it's not. It's not fair. It's not 95% of all wrestlers.
I think it gets back to this one thing that a friend of the show once told me.
Oh, boy.
I won't say his name, but we'll just say for the sake of this argument that his name's Cody. And Cody once, this Cody character I'm referring to, once said to me, people misuse the word over. Like,
yeah,
The Rock was over. Stone Cold Steve Austin was over. John Cena is over. Hulk Hogan was over. Bill Goldberg was over.
Yep. All right.
With that in mind,
yeah,
if that's the real, if we stop saying, oh, they got a good reaction and we got a lot of tweets.
Yeah.
Like, how do we define over? If we're using that as the barometer, that's kind of always been the case. 95, I think we could take modern day out and just say 95% of wrestlers have no clue how to get over.
Well, you know what? You and I are kind of saying the same thing. And that is the Disco Inferno does not know what he's talking about.
Right.
He does not. He does not. He never knew what he was talking about. So here we are, wow, Mike Rotunda's going to wrestle.
Yeah, and he's going to wrestle a fucking goof dressed up like a booger.
That's Joel Deaton, I believe. Thunderfoot.
Yeah, but Thunderfoot in the lime green looks like a legit crash test dummy. Oh, listen to Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah. Hey, well, obviously.
Can
How many more times am I going to say?
You want to talk
Obviously.
Well, I want to tell you something. He wanted to wrestle. What he's doing is wrestling bozos. You know, aftermath of Starcade is over. I heard Dr. Death out here.
Starcade.
There's no such things as.
I got a number on the sacks. I just I think it's, you know, there's a lot that goes into getting over in that Hulk Hogan, John Cena kind of way. And I would think if there is someone that's quote unquote over in wrestling these days, because I think what you're talking about most of the time is like in the mainstream.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, even Roman Reigns, I think, like he's the most quote unquote over on WWE programming.
Right.
But in real life, is he?
Compared to those other guys?
No, I'm just, correct. Like
Right.
compared to those other guys, I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be shitty.
No.
I'm just saying, I just don't think that's the case yet.
I think in the long run he will be.
Oh, I think he has there. I think there's a lot of opportunity for him to be, but
right. Again, it goes back to this, and I hate to keep going back to it. What does Disco Inferno know about being over?
Right.
He doesn't, because he never was. So he doesn't know. But again, he's just an opinion. But sometimes you take a look at the opinion, you take a look at, 10 people, and you identify 6 of them as idiots.
Right.
And you just take their opinions and you just shove it over the side. Oh, you other 4, okay, we'll use those opinions. Use those. So he's an idiot. He is. And again, how does it would be just like me saying 50% of announcers do not know how to announce. What the fuck do I know about 50,
I love that you don't take your shit too seriously. It makes me happy.
I don't. So yeah, just if I was, I should have says nice tweet from someone who was never over. That's what someone should have tweeted.
You probably have him blocked though, don't you?
Yeah, I probably do. I don't know because I completely
you're outsourcing your Twitter now.
Yeah, I took Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Just deleted it off your phone.
Yeah, completely.
Life's a lot better, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best. And now there's been a lot of talk about, is Twitter going away? Right?
No,
I mean, yeah,
it's not going away. It's not going away.
But when I first heard, is Twitter going away? I was thinking, oh, please God, make it happen.
Well, they would just go to that new shit.
Yeah, that's all it would. They would just move into something else.
What's that new shit everybody got on? Hive.
Hive?
H-I-V-E.
That's a new social media conduit or whatever.
Yeah, you should probably go lock down at Tony Schiavone just so somebody doesn't start tweeting or hiving as you.
Okay.
You're going to break out in hives over there.
All right. Yeah. Just, it's just, I mean, obviously social media has been I've said it before and I know I'm right. Social media has given idiots a voice. And listen, as we have well established on this show, and I've learned through my now 65 years, idiocy runs rampant.
Yeah.
It does.
Well said.
Look at this airplane spin. A little bit more physical when he was advised by Kevin Sullivan. I think this is what we're seeing, the formation of the varsity club here, aren't we?
Correct.
Yeah. And eventually Rick Steiner will join them as well. And they wear their varsity club shirts and there you go. Or coats, jackets. And we still got Ric Flair and Michael Hayes.
Yeah. And Michael Hayes wears a robe to the ring.
Oh, that's great. And I'm sure it's got a Rebel flag on it.
It doesn't.
Whoa, how about that?
That's what jumped out at me. By the way, congrats to your Jaguars. They beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
How about that? 28-27. As I'm looking right now, I got 30, 11, 30, 31, 32. I'm going to hit it at 35, Tony.
All right.
We're going to take one last time out today because we're going to talk about something pretty important. You see, lots of adults choose to use nicotine, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Not everybody uses nicotine, but if you do, you'll want to listen up. Get ready. This is an ad for Lucy Breakers. If you're one of the millions of adults who use nicotine, well, you know that not all products are the same. There's one new product that Tony and I believe stands above the rest. Lucy Breakers are the only nicotine pouch that gives you a blast of flavor from the first moment to the very last. Each pouch contains a capsule that you break open to release a rush of flavor. It doesn't fade away like those other pouches, you know, the ones that rhyme with thin. They come in so many flavors. You can get mint, berry, citrus, mango, even espresso. You don't have to run down to the gas station or the corner store to get these. Just order online. They'll be shipped straight to your door, baby. Every order gets free shipping. How can you beat that? Plus, if you subscribe, you'll save 15% off and never run out. I told the story here last week on the program. I've got a fellow who used to, have to go outside and stand in the freezing ass cold here in Alabama in the winter to get his nicotine fix. Not anymore. I introduced him to Lucy Breaker. He's enjoying life and smelling a little better too. I don't think we can help some other folks with a special deal right now, Tony.
So whether you use nicotine while working, creating, or playing, Lucy Breakers are the intelligent choice, and we've got a special deal for our listeners. Get $10 off your first order when you use promo code WHW at checkout, and shipping is always free. That's lucy.co. Promo code WHW to receive $10 off and free shipping. Again, remember this website, lucy.co, for more details. And we thank Lucy for sponsoring the podcast. Here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
And with that in mind, Tony, let's get back to the program. I'm at 1:11:35 in 3, 2, 1, play.
With us now, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Guys, looks like you're ready for the bunkhouse.
You got that right. You know, when it comes to getting down, you know, the NWA's in town with a Bunkhouse Stampede. I'm talking about every man put up $1,000, up to $30,000, brother. And you know what anybody would do for $30,000. They get there, they even stab their own mama in the back. A lot of them will.
Oh.
But you see, the advantage that the Rock and Roll Express has got, that is two of us. And we look after each other. Look after each other is what it's all about. And that's what we're going to do when we're going to Stampede. I know there's a lot of people out there saying all the things they're going to do. But, brother, first you got to do it, and then you talk about it. That's just like the NWA World Tag Team titles. You see, Tully Blanchard, Art Anderson, you got a long road ahead of you, brother. You hadn't seen nothing yet, and you talk about how bad and how good you are. But like I said, you had not seen nothing yet. It was a long, hard road, brother. Whatever highway we took led us right here. NWA, the best wrestling in the world. If you are a wrestler, brother, that's what you are in NWA. And that's what we hear. That's what we stand for. So you remember it. You remember it well, brother, because rock and roll is solid gold, and it's forever, and it's going to live forever. And you remember it, baby, because we're going to be around here for a long time. So you be ready, and you be ready looking good, because it's Stampede time, and it's the holidays, it's Christmas time, and that money sure will look good. Woo!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got the match next. The World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair, in his first title defense on television
Come on.
in 2 years.
You hear
He's
in the
going to go up
background?
against Freebird,
There it comes.
Michael Hayes.
There it is. One of the best theme songs in wrestling history.
No doubt.
Just gotta let that play.
Please do. I love it.
This ain't no home sweet home. It's a home sweet misery. We knew where we got here. They tried to pull us away. But when they see us walk down the street, they ran the other way. Let's free Atlanta, TA. Let's free in the whole USA. Let's free Nashville.
Man, it's such an old school, great theme song. And
it's best. It really is. I love it.
compare and contrast that with that piece of shit robe he's wearing.
I know. And he's really color coordinated. Is he gold, green, and blue?
Well, I'm a free bird. What's your excuse?
Yeah, that's those pants are probably.
You can tell what religion he is, Tony.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And here comes Ric Flair and the robe that got away. Man, I've been chasing this one forever. He had a yellow peacock robe that he says was the best robe he ever had. He let Black Jack Mulligan tear it up on Crockett TV way back when.
Yes.
And then he did this green robe, and this is what I call the peacock robe. I just loved it, man. He would wear this on the funeral parlor set in the WWF a few years later. So many classic moments, so many classic posters, and I can't find that one. An Olivia Walker special, and nobody knows where the hell it is. But there's the big gold belt. That's what it's all about. Of course, in 1986, at Battle of the Belts, he had one hell of a match in that same robe here in Florida against Barry Windham. Dave Meltzer would call it the best hour of wrestling he had seen on television ever.
Wow.
It was an incredible match between the two. And now, a year and a half later, we're back. And the world title's still on the line. Big gold belt's got a little dent at the top of it already. Lots of people foolishly think it's from 91 when Bobby Heenan dropped it at SummerSlam, or maybe it's when Big Show Bennett, while he was smoking a cigarette. All these silly theories out there. The reality is it's been here in 87.
Yeah. I always remember it. I always remember that having the bent part of it at the top.
It didn't have to, when he first debuted in 86, it wasn't there, but it did pop up in 87. So
yeah, I knew it wasn't far after he debuted it. Yeah.
I had character to it. And there you see, I like the old school standoff. Referee Bill Alfonso bringing them to the center. And you're going to do something kind of cool on this. Again, I just want to remind everybody the context. Jim Crockett Promotions has gone out and purchased, speaking of color coordination, why is Flair not in green boots, rocking the white instead?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, this era has gotten very, very competitive. Watts is struggling. He would go out and look in the crowd and say to his booker, "Where are the blowjobs?" That's a real sentence.
I'm sure it is.
And that's what he referred to the female patrons. There weren't enough ladies who were buying tickets.
Okay.
And eventually realized, hey, we've got a little recession in the oil business of sorts. Mm-hmm. So as that industry has struggled, so has the disposable income.
Right.
And they find themselves woefully behind, and the bills are piling up, and they can't compete with Vince McMahon nationally anymore. He does a moonshot, tries one last time to rebrand it. Instead of Mid-South, now it's going to be the UWF, the Universal Wrestling Federation, because what's bigger than the World Wrestling Federation? Well, the whole fucking universe.
Sure.
And it worked about as well as you would imagine. So he needs a sucker to buy his debt. And the person who's desperate enough to do that and thinks they got enough firepower to compete with Vince, and man, they were once upon a time, is Jim Crockett Promotions.
Right.
Jim Ross helps broker that deal, finds himself being one of the broadcasters. He's on this call, and we'll actually see him in the studio next week for the first time. Mm-hmm. I'm saying all that to say we're trying new things here, especially in the wake of WrestleMania 3. WrestleMania 3 became something that was big even in the touring industry, where once upon a time arenas were clamoring for this wrestling craze. Maybe beforehand they just promoted festivals and concerts and the whatnot, but man, everybody thinks this is the hot thing, so let's get them. So the WWF goes from running one town to 2 to 3 towns. They got an A, B, and a C town. So in an effort to compete, Crockett is doing what they can, man. They're buying out Bill Watts. They're growing their syndication. We just saw at Starrcade, TWN, the wrestling network. We're trying to say, hey, we got the same stuff they do.
Right.
And the other thing they're going to try to do is offer competitive matches on TV, because certainly WWE, WWF at the time, of course, has Saturday night's main event, but most of their shows, their syndicated shows, are essentially enhancement matches, much like we've seen mostly today. But a main event like this, where you've got a top act, and I know these days everybody likes to talk about Michael Hayes as Duke, and all that. But the reality was the guy was over. In a question where we're discussing, hey, who was over? In the territory days, Michael Hayes was over.
Freebirds were big time over.
Yes.
Yes.
And as a result, we're going to put him in a title match here against Ric Flair. And oftentimes it's been said that Ric could have a 5-star match with a broom. Well, let's see in this match. But the point is, it's a different presentation from what you normally do. It's not just an arena show. It's an arena show you're running on your big time TV instead of just a regular studio squash show. But in addition to that, you're going to go off the air without a finish here. It's a hot finish like we would see in Nitro.
Yeah.
I mean, that's revolutionary for the time, is it not?
Yeah. And it's the wrong thing to do. Isn't it?
Talk to us. Why is it a wrong thing to do?
What, to go off without a finish?
Well, we got to go. I mean, y'all did it forever.
Yeah, it still was the wrong thing to do.
You don't like cliffhangers. I'm not arguing. I'm asking.
No, I don't. I mean, I liked at the time being a part of it, being exciting, being up here, telling the fans we got to go, we're out of time. And I used to say the tape machines are rolling. We'll show you what happened next week. And we necessarily never did, or most of the times we didn't. I just think that you have the fans invested in this match, and the match moves along, and all of a sudden, boop, we're gone. What the hell, right? It's like, man, it's like bases loaded. Bottom of the ninth, they're going to win the World Series, but we got to go to the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Right.
So no, I again, we've talked a lot about the cracks in Jim Crockett Promotions, the sale of the UWF to Jim Crockett Promotions, Dusty booking himself over in the Bunkhouse Stampede, guys not showing up for bookings, and going off of TV without showing finishes. I think listen, that all mixed it into the pot was the reason we failed. I really believe so. I mean, I don't think you will ever see Tony Khan book a show where he goes off without a finish. I don't think you'll ever see that. Really, you think he will?
Yeah.
You think he'll eventually do that, or has he done it and I missed it?
Well, hang on now. Are we saying, let's make sure we're understanding, because a lot of times brawls would start on Nitro. It wasn't technically a match. Like maybe it's a DQ.
Uh-huh.
And things get out of order, and we hear the bell, ding, ding, ding. Oh, the referee's going to throw this one out. We got to go. We're desperately out. That's going to happen.
That's going to happen in
AEW.
Okay.
It's a cliffhanger. And I'm not saying that's a shit on AEW. I'm just saying some of my favorite TV shows I watch, it's like, it's like, oh, okay, it feels like this is the end. And then a door will swing up, and you're like, oh, that guy's fucking back. I got to tune in next week to see. That's just a storytelling device.
Okay, that's a storytelling device, but you can still have a finish in your match and then move on with a storytelling device after the finish is over.
Okay, so fuck finish DQs. Does that count or no?
No, I don't think fuck finish DQs count. I don't like them. I never liked fuck finish DQs because think eventually
really toothpicks. Where you don't know.
I think fuck finish DQs is fucking the fans.
Okay.
I've always thought that, and you don't want to fuck the fans because you can only fuck them so many times.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What's the appropriate number of times to fuck the fans?
38.
Oof. That was said with like.
No, I knew you were going to ask me some dumbass fucking number, so I just threw one out there.
No, I mean, listen.
To appease your dumbass question.
If anybody knows about how many times you can fuck the fans, it's somebody who worked in WCW. I'm not saying that today. You figured out
and worked in Jim Crockett Promotions.
you know when it's one too many.
Yeah, all right. You can't please everybody.
Right.
Sometimes a group of fans are going to feel like they've been fucked over. And a lot of times a group of fans are just waiting to be fucked over, and they live for that.
Yes, they
can shit on you and shit on your promotion and shit on this podcast and whatever it is. That's what they do because they're miserable fucks, and they don't realize they're miserable fucks, but that's what they are. So you can't.
Think people actually buy tickets and go sit in the arena and say they're going to fuck us today? I know it.
Yeah, I absolutely do.
Damn,
I absolutely do. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's where we are.
Damn.
It's the way life is gone these days. But so anyway, not every fan is going to feel that they got their money's worth. But when you have a show like this on TBS at 6:05, which has been your hallmark product.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Which has been the number one syndicated or number one cable time slot for wrestling on TV for years and years and years, and you don't give them a finish.
Right.
Give them a finish and then have somebody run down and have some sort of angle afterwards, and they go off with the, as Dave Meltzer would so inappropriately call or incorrectly call, heat. Have them go off with something great. But you can still have a finish of the match. That's just my feeling as a fan and a person who's worked in the business. So there you go. So
you gotta get hot about it.
No, I'm not hot about it. I'm just very passionate about my feelings about wrestling, about what I don't know what always works. I'm not one of those great creative guys who say, "Can you book?" No, I can't book. I've never been in the ring, for crying out loud. I've never wrestled. So it's like, can you coach a baseball? Can you be a manager of a Major League Baseball team? No, I never played Major League Baseball. I never played pro ball. So I don't think I'm a creative guy, but I know as a fan what works and what doesn't work and what's right and what's wrong. And I can tell you right now, I can definitely say that when I look at something and say that's not right, I'm pretty spot on many times of what's, and when Luger didn't go over in the Bunkhouse Stampede in the cage in the Nassau Coliseum, and I said, that's not right, I knew that wasn't right, and I knew that was correct. So there you go with that.
I like the way you phrased that when you said, I'm on the money many times. It reminded me a lot of the Anchorman line.
Right.
60% of the time it works every time.
Well, I mean, I'm not like Disco who puts out a tweet like he's a know-it-all, you know. I mean, I'm not always right, but
who is?
Nobody.
You know, Jeff Jarrett says all the time, booking is subjective. Creative is subjective.
Yeah.
You know, and that is really as simple as Bruce sometimes likes to say. You wanted chocolate, I wanted vanilla.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean, you know, vanilla's wrong or chocolate's right. We know what I mean. Just
right.
Kind of is what it is.
Yeah. I like discussing things like this. I do.
I like the discussion of over, but then I think anytime I just say the word disco, you get triggered.
Yeah, I do. It triggers me.
I just wanted to see if I could get you to say trigger on the show. Before we clicked record, I made a bet with Dave Silva that I could get you to say the word triggered.
Triggered.
Well, he didn't think I could, so I'm eating Whataburger for free tomorrow now.
There you go.
I don't want Whataburger, but anytime I let him buy, that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so he lives at Whataburger is what I understand.
No, he doesn't. That's a falsehood.
Okay.
He sends his wife. I sat behind her in a drive-through once. I don't know. It was when they first got open, and I had never had it.
Yeah.
And my daughter was really fired up to try it.
Yeah.
If it was just me in the car, I would have said, fuck this, and pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was in the car and she had hyped it up. I guess they had something horrible called the Dr. Pepper milkshake or some shit.
Yes, right.
I was really excited about it. So I thought, oh, okay. Well, it took forever.
Right.
And it was not worth waiting for. But Lord knows I saw the lady in front of me waiting diligently, patiently.
Yeah.
And then when she rolled her window down, I recognized, wait a minute, that's Mrs. Silva.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt you. See Flair calling spots here?
I do.
Oh, he's so good at that. You know, got hit in the nose and has his hands over his nose like it hurts. And as Alfonso leans down, he tells Alfonso what's going to happen next. Fuck, what a master. So anyway, Mrs. Silva's waiting in the drive-through for hours.
Yeah, for hours and hours and hours every day.
And I agree.
Right now.
And I agree. I really like Whataburger. Love them. Like everything they have, except a Dr. Pepper milkshake, because that ain't it. Those two flavors don't go together, dude.
Let me tell everybody, if you're getting this early on Patreon, don't miss Tales from the Territories this Tuesday. If you're listening on Wednesday, it aired last night. It was all about Jim Crockett Promotions. We had Jim Cornette, we had Arn Anderson, we had Ricky Morton. Good times, good times.
Good for you.
You don't like Crockett Territory talk? I forgot you hate the Tales from the Territory guys.
Right.
Yes. Now, do you hate Evan or Jason more, or do you hate them equally?
I don't think, I don't know. Let's see who they try to get canceled this week. We'll find out.
Oh, they're not doing that since they're doing territory shows. They
Oh,
learned
okay.
the lesson.
Yeah, well,
They're just whacking off territories.
yeah, sure they
Whack,
are.
whack, whack.
Anyway,
Anyway, we see
good
Ric
for
Flair
good
here.
for them. Good for them.
Okay. You gotta get
you know what? I not only did I see Paul Bromwell this weekend, I saw Matt Coon.
Oh man, sorry about that.
Yeah,
You had to see John Alba, Matt Coon, Paul
Yeah.
Bromwell,
yeah.
just all the folks. I wish Cassio was there. So
Cat
you would have
Lisk.
had somebody else to hate on.
No, I love Cassio.
Okay.
How can you not like Paul Bromwell, right?
Oh, salt of the earth human being.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And apparently, Jarrett was going to do a podcast and wanted to know if I was going to stay after the show.
And you said, "Fuck no."
I had all these friends of mine. I had to get back and flying back first thing in the morning, so I had to drive back quickly, and get them to the airport on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, which is, if you've never been to the Atlanta airport on the Sunday after Thanksgiving, you don't know what you're missing.
Oh God, I can't imagine.
Yeah, jeez. So how was your Thanksgiving? Good?
Fantastic. Did it down at my mom's house, smoked the turkey like I do. Did the Creole Cajun stuff all around. Everybody said it was the very best one. Take a listen to this now.
The ropes again. He's on the bottom. Blake, no, Michael thinks he's won it. He certainly, he got a 2 count, but Flair's foot was on the bottom rope. That's exactly right. And now Ric Flair throws him out on the floor.
Did you notice I said that's exactly right to JR right there?
Way back when.
Way back when.
Isn't that amazing?
God bless America. Oh, geez.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Here he comes, trying to get him down again. Can he do it? Can he get him over? Yes. 1, 2.
Tony, your thoughts?
That is fucking over the fans. You can't tell me it's not.
That's the first time you fucked us, Tony.
Okay.
I'll always think of this moment. Fans at home, I want you to mark down the time and date. It was December 5th, 1987. It's the first time Tony Schiavone fucked us. Can't believe this is real, but Wooo Wings, your very own virtual restaurant concept, is now open, and fans can enjoy the legendary flavors and world championship wings by ordering with their Uber Eats or Postmates app. Woo Wings is now open in Nashville, San Antonio, Jacksonville, as well as Huntsville and Tuscaloosa, right here in Alabama. Many more locations coming soon. As a virtual restaurant, Woo Wings is looking to partner with existing restaurants in major metro areas. Tell your favorite sports bar or local restaurant you want Woo Wings in your town, and to visit RicFlairWings.com for more information on how to become a partner. But if you're in Nashville, San Antonio, Jacksonville, Huntsville, or Tuscaloosa, hop on your Uber Eats or Postmates app and look for Woo Wings and try the only chicken wings worthy carrying the name of the 16-time world heavyweight champion, Woo Wings. Be sure to check out RicFlairWings.com to become a partner. But it won't be the last. There'll be plenty of fucking to go around next week right here on WHW. But unfortunately, Tony, right now, it looks like it's about that time.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring wearing Lululemon tights is Dave Silva. What? And as you know, there's only 3 things that tell the truth, and that's drunks, kids, and Lululemon anti-stink casual running classic fit pants. Oh, we're desperately out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When we come to you Wednesdays on Cumulus, also known as Westwood One. But Mondays we come to you on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday, and of course, adfreeshows.com.
Look at the ass on Silva.